It is November 3rd, 2025. You know what that means? We had more basketball tonight. I got some good takeaways for you. College basketball started today. Um, and yeah, let's get right into it. I'm not going to talk too much about college basketball because I didn't watch it, if I'm just going to be honest. But I'm excited for this season. And from what I saw, Koa Pete, that big man from Arizona, he looks good so far. And I'm looking forward to see some of the highlights and some of the games of Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsta, Nate Ament, Chris Senac. We've got a really good group this year, and I'm excited to see what comes of it. And I'll talk a little bit tomorrow about some tanking teams. And just tomorrow, I got a tier list coming for teams and where I think they're at after the first 2 weeks. So be ready for that. But tonight, I'm going to be talking about some of the games and some takeaways that I have that happened tonight. And first of all, it's the Grizzlies. They lost tonight. They made it close in the end, but they didn't pull it out. And driving reason of that, driving factor of that, John Morant just isn't into it right now. He did not look like the better player over Cade Cunningham at any point during this game. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. He's out of it. He's missing easy shots. He's not showing a lot of energy, especially on the defensive side of the ball. There was one play where Cade just beat him and he just swats at it instead of jumping at him. Things like that. I mean, it just feels like he's bringing down the energy in that team. Feels like he's not being a leader, to be frank. I mean, when I watch them, it's such a stark contrast between watching the energy levels that a guy like a John Morant puts out versus like Cedric Cowherd and Vince Williams and Jalen Wells and these young guys who seem like they actually want to be there. John Morant doesn't seem like that right now. And I don't know what you can do. You definitely can't trade him. I mean, some people have been speculating about that, but it's not happening. He's such a big part to Memphis. His jersey sales alone, his shoe sales, he is Memphis to a lot of people, and I don't think you can trade that. So I think you got to start looking at, especially they're not going to trade him when they fired their coach last year, who'd been there for 6 years, and was running an offense that worked, but it just didn't cater to Ja. And then they started to tail off at the end of the year because Ja just wasn't engaged. And now the same thing's kind of happening. We'll see if they fire another coach. Even though he's running an offense more suitable to Ja, it seems like there's been disputes there. He got suspended for a game over it. And it just overall has looked really bad. Early in the season, I was excited because Cedric Coward was really jumping off the screen. Ja actually looked decent. He looked like he wanted to play, wanted to prove a point. But since then, it's kind of been downhill. It hasn't really looked great. And I mean, Jaren Jackson, and just on the topic of the Grizzlies, I don't think he's that good. I mean, he definitely has some good qualities. The rim protection can be really good. Some of the offensive creation that he does on his own as a big man, that's really good. But outside of that, he can't rebound to save his life. He's a big small forward. There was a play at the end of the game where if they wanted to stay in I mean, the game was really over already. They were down six. Star Thompson was shooting his second free throw, and he got outboxed by Isaiah Stewart and lost the defensive rebound to Stewart, who got the offensive rebound. And it's just tiny things with him. He fouls a lot. He doesn't rebound. I don't think you can have him as your anchor. Now, maybe some of that will go away when you actually have your bigs healthy, like Brandon Clark and Zach Edey, who aren't playing right now. But still, I mean, you need someone who can actually rebound, and he can't. And I don't know if he's worth that $50 million a year they had to pay him. So yeah, that's it on the Grizzlies. And moving on, the Jazz have some good young talent. So they actually did beat the Celtics today, which I was pretty surprised by. But Celtics aren't that great. But from what I've seen from the Jazz so far, I really like a lot of their pieces. They shouldn't be winning this year. They should absolutely be going after that superstar, which they don't have right now. Lauri Markkanen's good. He's a good top 40, top 35 guy in the league. He's probably not the long-term superstar for that team. So if you can get a guy like a Cam Boozer or a Darren Peterson or a DeBonsta or an Ament or someone of that caliber who can really be the leader of your team, I think you got to go for it. They took a swing on Ace Bailey for that. Hasn't looked that way so far. I don't know if he can lead a team from just what we've seen so far. That could obviously change, but I mean, it's not looked great so far for Ace Bailey. But they have a lot of talent I like. Keontae George, he's played his way into the top 100 players in the NBA for me. He wasn't there last year when I made my list, but last year, then again, I didn't really watch basketball that much. I was more in tune. I didn't actually watch the games like I am now. Um, but yeah, he just pops off the screen when you see him. He's able to run the offense. He's able to get to the rim and make stuff happen. He's able to shoot too. He's just a really good player. And then you look at a guy like a Walker Kessler. He's also played his way into that top 100 discussion. He's consistently great on defense, and he can make things happen on the interior. Holy, that was a bad voice crack. He can make things happen on the interior on offense. He's able to get those boards and the tip ins and the easy things. He's a good, solid big man. And he can be a part of that future. And then you look at other guys, and they have Walter Clayton, who's looked really good so far. They've got Bryce Sensabaugh. Yeah, he's really good. He should be a part of their future. Isaiah Collier, I really like what I'm seeing from him. Kyle Filipowski, the offensive output, it looks great. They have guys who can maybe be a part of this future. And I like what they're building. They're frisky enough to show you the potential with their young talent, but they're not good enough to actually win and maybe sacrifice a top 8, top 7 draft pick. And I think that's something that you really like to see if you're a Utah fan. You maybe want to see them even worse because this is a draft where you want one of those top picks, and this is a squad who really needs a top guy, and I think that being bad could really benefit this team. And my next point, the Mavs could really use Quentin Grimes right now. This is a team who clearly just lacks offensive creation. PJ Washington was their creation this game, and it was ugly. D'Angelo Russell had 12 assists because when he's on the court, he's the only person who can have the ball and actually make things happen for himself and other people. Because, geez, that roster is a bunch of guys who cannot create right now. Kyrie Irving is carrying such a load when he gets back. I mean, you look at the starting lineup, and it's Cooper Flag. They tried that. It hasn't worked, the self-creation bit so far. Klay Thompson can't create. He's just a shooter for the most part. And then PJ Washington, he's fine at it. He can do it if he really needs to, I guess, which we saw tonight. But ideally, he's not in that role, and you're not going to win basketball games with him in that role. Anthony Davis, he can make stuff happen in the low post, but he can't run an offense. And Daniel Gafford, yeah, he can't create offense. And then off the bench, it's like Caleb Martin, Derek Lively, Najee Marshall, Max Christie. It's a lot of like good 3-and-D guys. Not a whole lot of creation other than D'Lo. And that's not a spot you want to be in if you're a team. If D'Lo's ever your primary creator, that's bad. It's probably better than what they have right now at the other positions. So maybe you give him more run. But from what we've seen, you really don't want D'Lo there. And there's a reason they haven't won a lot so far. Defense can win championships, but you also got to have a little bit of offense. And right now, the Mavericks do not. And finally, I want to give a shout out to someone. Someone commented today and said, "Can you break down the Suns? They've been doing good so far." And yeah, tomorrow I will. Tomorrow I'm going to be making a tier list on every team, and their contention status right now, where I think they rank in the NBA, how I think they can compete. And yeah, I'll post that tomorrow, and I will give a breakdown on some teams, and I'll try and give some more time to the Suns. But overall impressions of them, meh, from what I've seen. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.